Good afternoon, strong challengers. Today we are here to talk about rest. This week is all about rest and taking time for yourself. If you have any questions as we go through this conversation, feel free to comment below. We'll also check back and try to answer any questions that you might have after the fact. With me today, I have Craig, and Carrie might also be joining us. But right now, Craig is here, and I am just going to start with asking you, why is rest a challenge for you?
Well, like many people, we have so many distractions in our life, so much going on between work and family and um, possibly hobbies and other obligations. It's just hard to find time just to take that, sit down and rest. It's just difficult sometimes, or to find that time. Plus, also, sometimes you want to veg with the TV, which isn't true rest as we know, but just that moment, or get caught up on the news or everything going on in the world. It's just tough. There's a lot going on.
Yeah, and rest is it's really important. And the definition of rest is to cease work or movement in order to relax, refresh oneself, or recover strength. And in situations where there are a lot of demands, it can reduce, you have to just focus on reducing the amount of demands in a situation. So, um, I really struggle with resting because my mind just goes a million miles an hour all the time. And every time that I have an opportunity to relax, I'm normally overtired. I just want to like take a nap or something, which is great, but I'm bad at like shutting my mind off. So this week so far, like once I got my daughter down, one night I was like, I really love like listening to music. Like I just love music, and I don't know the last time I sat down and just found new good music by some of my favorite artists and really just like listened to the song and enjoyed the words and everything. So one night, once I got my daughter down, I went through and I found my favorite artist and I listened to some new songs that had come out and some different mashups. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, like I was able to shut my mind off, fully let this music just take my mind away and forget about the other million things that I have to do. Um, and that was a struggle for me, but it was so refreshing, and it was something that I loved to do for a long time. So being able to do that again, it's like I need to do this more often.
All right, well, good for you. And again, I struggle with it all the time. So the strong challenge, with the calendar that we have and our goals, and I said this last week with, I've done this with Play and last week with Connect, was actually write stuff down, and it makes it so much easier for me. I schedule it. So this is some of the things I've done this week, and I've done every week with whatever the theme is the 20 minutes a day being active. I have that down. That's not an issue anymore, but it's all the other things is find these times to do these things. So talking with my wife, what we did is we actually scheduled 2 times each this week where we put it on our family calendar at home to have 10 to 15 minutes where we have off from all family duties. We go to a quiet place in the house and we each signed up where then, so if it's my wife's turn, I'll take and the kids need attention, I will deal with that. And so let her just have her quiet space and her time, and I just deal with the kids and the cats and everything else or whatever else has to be done in the house. And it's just her time, and she does the same thing for me. And we write it down, we put it on the calendar, and that way it's written. It's a scheduled time, and we've been able to get through. I've been able to get through one of those so far. We have more scheduled for later this week. It seems like the first 3 days of the week are always the hardest, and kind of for us slows down a little bit come Thursday night, gives us a little more time between the kids and virtual schools and homework and all that. To do. The other thing we're doing is we scheduling, it talks about taking, if you watch the video for this week, talk about taking a day for yourself and resting and the 5 naps, which for some of us, that's not realistic. There's no way we can have a day to ourselves with between family and work and everything else. What we are doing is on Saturday and Sunday, where each one of us, my wife and I, are getting 3 hours to ourselves to do just to rest, whether it's nap, listen to music, um, just walk outside with nothing else. So for me, Saturday's my day, or Sunday's my day. My wife's taking the kids, dealing with them for 3 hours, and I am just going to unplug from everything. I don't, even if I go for a walk, I'm not going to have music on. I'm just going to the weather's decent, I'm outside, just listen to nature and walk and enjoy it. And if I'm indoors, I'll just kind of veg and let my thoughts go wherever. But same thing for Saturday. My wife's 3 hours. I'm taking the kids. If the weather is nice, we'll be outside. But otherwise, we'll play something in the house. And just that 3 hours is hers to rest, nap, sleep, whatever she wants. I'm not even going to ask her. We're just leaving, getting out of her hair and letting her go. The other thing that we're doing is that we scheduled was on Friday night. As soon as supper's over, we clean up. We are going to have we're going to try to do family rest time for an hour of just family rest. Now, we don't know how this will work with our kids. They're younger yet. They're 8 and 5. So we talked, and we're going to let them have more screen time on Friday night. Let them watch a movie. If they can't participate, they're just too angsty up, which they often are. But they are watching the movie. We're going to have an hour just to ourselves of quiet time and just connect with each other and kind of bring in last week's theme to this week. But no TV, no phones, no devices, just an hour to us. And if it's just to either veg or talk and to have conversations, not about the kids and not about work, just other things going on in our lives. And just, what do we want to do in the next 6 months to a year? What are we planning? What are we talking about? That's even hard to do. That's going to be our rest, is just get away and talk about stuff we never get to talk about. So and we wrote it down. It's on our calendar and we're going to write it down, and hopefully that will work. It seems to be going so far. And the final thing, and I don't want to dominate too much, but is at work, I used to do this before and doing it again this week. During lunchtime, I'm just going to take 10 to 15 minutes to myself and find a quiet place. Or really, I used to, if it's warm enough, go in the car and just sit in the car, no radio, nothing. Some people might want the radio on, but for me, it's just peace and quiet. In my car to 10 to 15 minutes. I actually set my alarm just in case I doze off, because I have before, and I set it for 15 minutes. And it's amazing that 15 minutes, how good I feel coming back into work. And it feels like I slept for an hour. And I come back into work and it's like a brand new day. I'm recharged, re-energized, just from that 15 minutes of peace and quiet and nothing in my car. And it's amazing, and it has worked for me. So I'm going to be doing that tomorrow or Friday too, just 15 minutes to myself.
That's awesome. I think, something that we don't realize is how even a short burst of rest can, like, it reduces your stress, and then it increases our energy and just our focus, and everything can be reset with just a small amount of time resting and turning off your brain. If you can take a nap, great. I would love to be able to do that. Like on Sunday, I was feeling just really tired and drowsy and just not feeling like myself. And I asked my husband, I'm like, please, can you just take care of our daughter for an hour? Just go outside, do something. I just need some quiet and I just need to lay down. Granted, we got a brand new mattress that is very, very comfortable to sleep in. So I needed to take, an extra little nap to try that out again. But after I took a short nap and I woke up and I was just, it felt like a brand new day, a brand new person. And I really needed that. And normally I would just fight through it and say, no, I need to, it's Sunday. I want to be able to play with my daughter and spend time with my husband, but I just needed some time for myself. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. It's hard to justify it, but once you do it, it really can pay off and make the rest of the day better. So.
We have articles on our website too to help with that. And one of them is the lost practice of resting one day each week, but it has some really good things in there. But it talks about too to stop the glorification of being busy. And I'm one of those too. Checking off things off my list and staying busy is like, that's what I want to do. That's how I'm wired. Keep getting stuff done. But we need to, one of the things that we do is stop glorifying that. It's okay to take that time because you will be more productive. Take that downtime and rest and recharge. Even if it's just a little bit, but we need to do that to let our minds reset, let our bodies recover, and it's been proven to be more productive at work, at home, and everywhere. And then the other article on there is the 7 types of rests, which was really good for me to see that there's more than just, physical rest and sleeping, that there's other kinds on there. And I read through these, and, mental rest, social rest, creative rest, and emotional rest. These are things that I really wouldn't have thought of. So there's some great resources that really gets you rethinking and reframing how you do things and what kind of rest you need. And everybody might be a little bit different, but just be able to shut that mind off and do some of these things. And one of these categories might fit like, yes, that's exactly what I need. So I strongly recommend looking on those resources on there, because they do have some great information that can help reframe and redo and make you rethink how you do things.
Yeah, there are a lot of great resources on there. And, looking at those articles, it did open my eyes up to different types of rest, because normally I'm like, oh, well, resting is sleeping. No, there's other forms of rest. And even something that I did as well was, I thought, I haven't sat down and read a good book in ages. And so I said, I'm going to buy a book. So I went on Amazon. I found a good book that one of my friends suggested that I read. And I said, I'm going to buy this. And when I'm feeling like I need a little bit of time to just detach from the craziness of this world, I'm going to dive into a book, because I haven't done that in forever. So that's another thing that I am making myself do that is different than my normal way of life, I guess.
Other things too is just on our own why we have to, I believe it's tomorrow at 2 o'clock. We have a 15 minutes of meditation, stretching, and relaxing. So there are some things that we're doing, and maybe you can address that more with the Facebook and when they are, how you can get access to them. But there are some opportunities to have someone lead you through some of the stuff and guide you. So if you're not sure what to do with just the relaxing and meditation piece, we do have some help there for you. So because some of you might just, your mind doesn't stop when you stop to rest. So there might be some meditation. But I know it's
Yeah.
live tomorrow at 2 o'clock. Is that correct, Amy?
Yep. So Carolyn, she's one of our fantastic instructors from Chippewa. She will go live on the Strong Facebook page on tomorrow at 2, and then I believe also Saturday at 2. And then in addition to that, so we have her doing this on the Strong Facebook page during these weeks of challenge. But in addition to that, she also goes live on the virtual membership group. There's a virtual offerings for members. And as a Strong member, you get access to that group during the Strong Challenge. And that's where we stream a lot of our fitness classes. But Carolyn's also going in and doing meditation 3 times a week on that for the extension of however long. There isn't a ending point to that right now. So if you do find any, like that is something that you really want to take part in on a regular basis, we have that available for you on a regular basis.
Okay, great resources on the website to check out, just to help guide you and help you in this rest. Again, it is challenging, and there's a lot going on everywhere.
Yeah. So, it's important to prioritize your work as well. And, resting your physical muscles also allows you the opportunity to just rejuvenate and become better physically and have success with that. So once you're, rejuvenating your muscles, then you're providing your mind the rest it needs for an opportunity to reduce or refocus and regenerate as well. So it's not necessarily like the more work isn't always better, but smarter work is better. So trying to figure out how to really work your muscles and your brain and all of that in ways that is beneficial, instead of burning on 100 miles an hour all the time and maybe letting things fall through the cracks. That's another really important thing to remember. Not always a good thing to be too busy.
We also, talk about taking one day of your week and dedicating to rest. Of course, you identify yourself outside of just your work. But again, you identified so much as your job and what you do. A day of rest can help you identify yourself more than that. And rather than defining your life by what you do, you can begin to define by who you are. Yeah, I'm just reading these quotes off, but these are so true on some things of how you do that. It is important to separate yourself up from just your work and just being a parent. I mean, you are more than that, and this can help you with that. You just got to take those opportunities again. Schedule it, write it down. Maybe this is the start. This is the week that you actually schedule it, and you do that for a couple weeks if you need that rest time, which we all do. Get it written down, even if it's 10 to 15 minutes, and then eventually becomes second nature. Kind of like the first week, the activity piece, to ingrain that in you for 20 minutes a day of being active. Like I said, that's ingrained in me now that I just do it. I don't have to write it down. I know I'm going to do it at some point. They usually just get up and do it right in the morning, but everything else, the play week, we make sure that we, after when I get the kids at school, we just go out and play. Or if it's raining or snowing, we go indoors and play. But we do that for 20 minutes 3 days a week now too. It's just kind of our natural schedule now. Got into our daily structure. And then so now we're gonna do that with rest too. That's the goal. Hopefully this week will lead us to help us do that. That's just part of our natural routine that we take this time to do that.
Yeah, and I think, that kind of opens up the conversation of the strong challenge is clearly a 6 week challenge that we're trying to guide you in rejuvenating different portions of your life, right? Taking back control and just focusing on living a purpose driven life. But the challenge doesn't have to end at 6 weeks, right? Even though play week was week 2, that doesn't mean that you shouldn't still incorporate play into rest week, right? Like me and my husband played a game of Scrabble this week. We haven't played Scrabble in forever, but we thought, let's turn our minds away from everything else going on and just enjoy each other's company, work on fostering our relationship with one another, and, really having fun and resting as well. Like, yeah, our brains were at work trying to beat each other because we're very competitive, but it was still a very fun thing for us to do instead of sitting there and watching another episode of some show before we go to bed for the night. So it's really important to continue to incorporate these different themes. And Craig, I think your family is doing an amazing job. You guys post on the Facebook Strong page all the time showing others, what you're doing, the games you're playing. And it's really inspiring to show that, yeah, you're writing these things down on your calendars, you're doing them, you're fully invested in this program. And do you feel like it has made any sort of difference in your life in these 4 weeks?
Absolutely. And I was just going to say that too, how these weeks kind of intertwine with each other. Like you're talking about the rest and play kind of intertwine and connecting to each other and playing. I mean, it all intertwines. It's amazing that you said these routines are starting to develop. And these are things that we probably wouldn't have we forced ourselves to do them. We wrote, and my wife and I are very much calendar driven and task driven. We're very similar that way. So writing them down and putting them on the calendar, we said, nope, we have to do this now. This was on our sheet. It's like a goal sheet. So feeding into our own personality of getting stuff done, yet getting the stuff done is playing, is resting, is connecting. So it kind of feeds both of our needs to do these things, but we're also checking stuff off our list. So it's satisfying in that sense, but it is transforming us. And these are things that we probably, we wouldn't have done on the way we're doing them right now. It is forcing us to do it. And now it's just becoming part of our routine. And our kids are starting to adjust. At night, and they're younger yet, but they're asking us to play games rather than go on tablets or watch TV. They're coming to us and wanting to play the games just because we did it for a couple nights in a row. And now they're like, let's play Uno. Let's play these games. So it's fun to see that with them. And then one that we connected with my brother and their cousins. And we did that early in the pandemic when the shutdowns first started happening in March, and they live over in Rochester, and we haven't seen a lot of them. That forced us to kick. Now we're doing this weekly. We're trying to schedule it weekly that we have it where we're talking to each other through a Zoom account. That way the cousins can all see each other and talk to each other. So it's been fun to do that. It's scheduled, and we try to do it every week with each other just to make sure they're still connected. It's important if you have family to stay connected with them. It's hard, especially when you don't live nearby, to do that, especially at this time now with the order to stay home. It's a challenge. So this is one way that we're trying to do it. So we are turning on devices, but it is to connect.
Yeah, it's really hard right now, especially after, getting the news yesterday to like lock down even harder, right? It's really disheartening. And, I feel burnout, and it's just this never ending cycle of, well, can we do this? Can't we do this? Feeling really cooped up in the house, the weather getting cooler. I've been pretty sad these past few weeks, and I think that the strong challenge has helped me remember that there's other stuff that I can focus on doing. And even just going on to the Facebook page, not necessarily nightly, but I try to check it often and see all these fun, amazing things that other people are doing. And it's so motivating to say, okay, stop feeling sorry for yourself that you don't get to eat your grandma's Thanksgiving meal this year. There's always next year. And, just go and enjoy what you do have and what you can do. And it's a really important reminder right now. And I know that I'm struggling with it daily, and I don't think I'm the only one. So.
So great points, Amy. Too, the Facebook page has been just seeing what other people are doing. Like, oh, that didn't seem that hard, and something that seems so difficult or out there. It's like someone's doing it. That's something we should try or do. And it is inspiring. It is inspiring to see that. So if you haven't been on there, and I was never a big Facebook user, so I said this challenge is forcing me to do things that I would never have normally done, and that it's helped me grow as a person, and really connecting our family too. We kind of circle the wagon. We can't do some of the same things we've done in the past. We're circling the wagons as a family and just making sure that we are putting these things together and really connecting us. So everything, it's like I said, they all kind of encompass each other. And it's paying off, and then just seeing what other people are doing, and that we're not alone. There's other people out there, and there's other people that are struggling too, and they're talking about that, and then everybody else is jumping in with stuff. So it's really cool to see that if you have some challenges, put that out there too if you're willing to be vulnerable a little bit, because people will have great ideas or words of support. And I'm on Facebook doing this stuff, which is something I didn't do much of before at all. So there is good. I was always kind of the anti-social media person, but there is good stuff out there and fun stuff and inspiring stuff out there I'm discovering. So there is the good out there. So it's fun to see everybody else's journey and what they're doing and just seeing their progress. It's fun to see that.
Yeah, those are all great points, Craig. Well, I think we have covered most of the things we wanted to today, revolving around rest. And I think we can just conclude it with, so a few things I've done is I took a nap, which was amazing. I ordered a book and it should be arriving tomorrow, and I'm really excited to, get in and read that. I'm also trying out some of Carolyn's meditation and stretching. I'm not a stretcher or a meditator, but I'm giving it a shot. She's fantastic. So, that's one thing that I'm also trying to do. And then I'm going to spend another night finding music and just enjoying listening to music, because that's something that just makes me really happy. So, Craig, let's conclude with a couple, reiterating the couple things that you're doing with your
The
family.
big one is where I'm writing it down and scheduling it and just scheduling time. My wife and I, 15 minutes twice this week each, where the other one takes care of the kids in the house. And then the big ones this weekend, 3 hours each is the goal, to have our just to ourselves, and my wife will take the kids and deal with them and then have fun. And she's gonna go play with them and have fun. So we're kind of going back to last week or 2 weeks ago and just doing that. And then I'm doing the same thing. So, but it's scheduled. That's the big thing. You write it down and it actually does work.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for joining me today, Craig. We will be back next week with our weekly theme will be serve. So I have some folks joining us that will talk about that, and it'll be a great time. So thanks again for joining us today, and continue getting strong with us. Bye-bye.
Yeah.